So we will be repairing my PlayStation 5 controller. It's been having issues, and I guess after too many drops, and the button here got stuck. So I mean, it kind of works sometimes, but you know, when you tap onto it, it does weird things. So it's activating the button. So even if like I hit these other buttons, it starts doing the weird things. So I need to take it apart, and I don't know why I'm like this, but I'm not prepared, and I only spent like 2 minutes kind of going over the information, and I'm assuming it's not that difficult to take apart. So and I don't have the proper tools to do it, but we're gonna try to repair it anyway, because maybe you need an emergency, maybe something happened, and you're at home, and you don't want to spend like a week or a few days waiting for the proper tools to come in, and you just want to repair it. Alright, so let's switch over the scene. So what I've seen is that this cover comes off. You need a pry tool, but I don't have a pry tool. I only got this guitar pick. And it seemed to come off easy enough. Maybe because I dropped it so many times. I mean, geez. Alright, still. Alright. We start from the bottom. And I guess we slide this out like this way. So we can get these parts out from under the button. And then we will move it over the buttons. So remove this part. So we have the screws here. We're gonna carefully pop these out. All right. It seems to be popping out. This guitar pick's too old. It's gone soft. Well, that went flying. That means it is lost forever. It's lost forever. You're never gonna find it again. I remember the instructions did say there was a screw here. That button is lost to the ether. It's gone forever. So keep that in mind when you're prying this off. Carefully pry it off because it will start flying. I had a pry tool somewhere. Or something similar. Or I need a new pick that's not so old. I need a hard pick. Hard. Oh, I did find a old pry tool from long ago. Carefully pry this out. Okay, we saved that button. We need a tiny Phillips head screwdriver. I found a Phillips head screwdriver. This would have worked, but it's really in there, so I couldn't really get a good grip on turning it. I need a thicker grip. All right, we have one silver out. Two silver out. Three silver out. I do like that they don't have any special tools needed to take this apart. 4 silver screws out. And let's see what happens. Oh, I accidentally turned on my PlayStation. Looks like a pry tool will be needed. And I'm getting a phone call on my phone from the bottom. Now we gotta pry it off from the top. Oh. There seems to be a tab. One. Takes a little bit of effort there. I'm not sure how that came off, but it came off. We're going to carefully remove the battery. It's better to have one of those tweezer type things to pull it out, but we don't have one of those, so you have to do it the hard way and just pull out. And you know, pulling out is very hard to do. Dangerous. There's more to this disassembly, but I'm already noticing that I think I knocked the buttons all back into place trying to take it apart. So now the button's springy again. It's no longer stuck into position. But maybe I need to do a little bit of testing first to see how well. Because usually when I played the game, if I push any of these two buttons, the pause button here would start acting up. But I think it's already knocked into place. But, so that's the start of it. I think when I start first noticing the issue was when I was playing the game, I noticed that it was starting to twitch a little bit. Like it was doing a little weird twitching movement of the right analog stick. But then I kept dropping it, and then eventually the button got stuck. And there was kind of no way to knock it back into place. But it seems to be fully functional again. Now it does seem, I don't think I have to remove anything else. But if you were to keep removing it, we'll need to remove the screw here to remove this back plate. Yeah, why not? Why not? We got this far. Why not? Why not keep going? Why not risk it all and keep going? Alright, let's take off this back plate here. Another silver screw. It looks similar, but we're just going to keep it separate just in case. Alright, we carefully remove this cover. It had this part in this little cradle. So carefully remove that. Put the screw over here. See where all the ribbons connect. Here, 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 here. If you wanted to remove the motherboard. And I would highly recommend getting one of those tweezers. But we're just going to do it manually here. I do not recommend this at all. Please do not follow my instructions this way. Because these are very, very sensitive. This part came loose. We'll put it with the box. Now this one's the challenging one right here, because I can't really get a good grip of it. That was not pretty, but it came out. I'm gonna carefully pry the motherboard up. Alright. And the motors are connected to the motherboard. I removed my right analog stick. And the left. Gonna clean those up. Here I am using isopropyl alcohol with my Q-tips here. It has many uses. The one use here is to clean the inside of my PlayStation 5 controller, where a lot of dirt can get trapped in the cracks, the corners, on the inside. Makes it a little bit easier. And the analog sticks. Of course, you could use 99% isopropyl alcohol, and that dries real quicker because it has less water content in it. But if you have the 70%, that's also good. But just make sure you give it a long time to dry, the proper drying time, however long it takes to make it dry. I'm just moving the sticks around. It was mainly my right stick that was having all the issues, but I guess it doesn't hurt to do a bit of the other side. This is more of a temporary fix if you have any drifting issues. I mean, this is the way I've done it. There's probably better ways to do this, I'm sure. But I don't know. I'm not the expert in this fixing it. I just know that isopropyl alcohol should not damage the controller. So even if I was to do something crazy, but this one doesn't really have that much water content in it. So it's everywhere. Get in there good, drench it. But I have to make sure to let it dry over a long period of time. So make sure you do that. Long drying time. I'll just suck up some of the excess here that's drained out from the bottom. Alright, just letting it work through the controls. Hopefully you'll get out any dust and any little tiny dust particles I might have got in there. Or maybe I just damaged it, made it worse. We'll find out. Did this damage my whole controller? Stay tuned to the next episode of why did I do that. Probably would have been better to use a dropper, but just being lazy. Just use just a drop of a bottle cap. Oh, forget it, I'm being lazy. Dump it all. Dump it all. Who am I trying to impress? Chaos. That's what I do. I just bring chaos. That's what foxes do. Chaos. Just dry it up just a little bit. The excess. Move the controls a little bit. Counterclockwise, clockwise, up and down. Right. Left. Circles. Up, up, down, down, left, right, left, right. Alright, while that's drying, let's move on to the next step. Some controllers will have a little thing here that you unscrew, but this controller didn't have it. So I guess we're gonna skip unscrewing this cover. There's supposed to be like a white cover here, but this controller did not have one. Maybe because this controller is like 5 years old by now when it kind of came out. The new ones may have the cover on it, but this one didn't. Next step, then we remove this transparent little cover carefully. Yeah, see, smooth. That was smooth. And I'm pretty sure I'm not going to remember how to put this back together. Okay, we are going to remove the screw here and the screw here. The screws look similar. We'll keep these with the motor. We move this back into place. And this whole thing should come out. All right. It was stuck on the little ribbon here. I carefully removed it. Some wear and tear on it, but it doesn't seem to be any rips or anything in the plastic, the soft plastic. What did they say about isopropyl on this type of plastic here? Hopefully it's safe. Just do a little quick cleanup. And hopefully it doesn't do any long-term damage to the plastic or to the rubber, whatever this is. TPE material. Alright, now we're going to take a look at this panel here to see if everything's in order. Going to clean the cover. It looks a little loose. Alright, everything seems okay. We're going to put everything back together now. Or are we? But even though we are as far as we need to go, but since, you know, we got this far, why not go just a little bit further? We're going to need to remove these screws if you want to take out the triggers. So I'll just take out one and we'll take a look at it. But it's going to be the same for both sides. These will take out this one and these will take off this one. Let's just take off let's take off, I forgot which one I had the trouble with. We'll just go with, I think the right one at one time gave me trouble. Let's take a look inside. I forget which one. I think it was the right one, because I think that's like the reload and the trigger. So carefully, I'm gonna put these right here. So we're gonna use them right next. Okay, so the trigger fell out. What the trigger looks like. Right, we're going to remove 4 screws. First, these 3. That's 1. That is 2. That is 3. Okay, the next one is hiding behind this one right here. You really should use the special tools to remove these rivets. I don't have any tweezers, do I? I should. But that's how lazy I am. So I'd rather break an expensive controller than look for tweezers. Let me just get I need a good grip here. Alright, so that is out. Doesn't look damaged, does it? Alright, now that we moved this ribbon out of the way, we're going to get this screw here. Alright. Now we turn this back around and take off this casing here. Carefully, of course. And you can see the inside of the trigger. Part that goes up and down. Alright. This top part comes off. Slides up. Then this gear pops out if you pull it out. That's what it looks like on the inside. Looks good. Everything looks good. Doesn't look dirty. I mean, it looks a little dirty. How about we just give it a little clean? What are the effects of isopropyl alcohol on plastic gears? I don't know. I'm going to put this piece back. Do this silver thing on the top. Alright, everything's in place. Cover goes back on. Alright, let's put this piece back in. Gonna be a tight fit. Alright, we got it in. And I forgot to put the screw in first. That's what I was gonna do. Put the screw in first, then put that back in. Can we cheat the system? I don't think we can. We're gonna have to do it again. Carefully pull out, edge it out. Alright, now we put the screw in. Pretend you didn't see that. Pretend, let's rewind. I'll edit that part out. Alright. Let's get this screw in there. Carefully put this ribbon back into place. Alright, we got it in. It only took about 1 hour to get that ribbon in. Alright, we're gonna put the 3 screws back. One here. One here. And then one here. Alright, we got that one back in. So we're gonna need this side up. We slide this back in. Get the screws back in. So the left side is gonna be the same, similar setup. So we don't have to do the left one. But if you need it, it's gonna be similar to this right one that we just did. Get the screws back in. If you wanted to remove the motors here, you'd have to desolder them off from the board. For this one right here, for this one. And to change these out, you'll have to desolder it from the board. From this little ring, you see this little bit of a circle here to get these off, to have them replaced. But we don't need to go that far today. If you wanted to remove the touchpad, you would have to remove this cover by taking off the screw. And of course, if you need replacements of these do come out. You just got to pull them off, and the buttons come out with them too. So we're gonna put this thing back together. Everything looks like where it should be. Hopefully this should fix the issue I was having earlier, even though we went a little too far. But I guess I just wanted to look at it, see how disassembly would be for this type of controller. Hopefully not a bad sign. but consider this is the only piece that broke off somewhere off the PlayStation 5. Everything seems to be in order. I need to clean these analog sticks real quick. The nipples of the controller. All right. Now we got to reattach them correctly. Match them up. So it has a long rectangular direction that goes this way. So we're gonna have to match up the long rectangle here. All right, went on smooth. All right, it's in. I'm gonna turn this around and slide this back on top. Carefully try not to get the others messed up here. Carefully place the controller on top. Get this, don't forget to get this through this little slot in here while we set it in place. Carefully get this part behind. All right, we're gonna attach the 2 screws, the motor, back to the controller. Carefully. All right, see? You can see the screws are back in. Let's move this a little out of the way. All right, we're going to put this plastic part back into place. All right, kind of snap back into place there. And then if you have the plastic part that went here, you can attach that, but this controller didn't have it. And I'm lucky I caught this, but I noticed this piece was not in place. That would have been a headache to take it all back apart again. All right, it's back into place. Screw the motors back in. I'm going to try to position this back into place. Okay, if you see here, oh, it's a little difficult to see, but I slid this into place in the square with a little circle poking out, and there's going to be a gap in the ribbon. It's going to be sit into this little bit of area here, and the rest is going to come out from the top. And it's going to have this little hard to see, but it's going to have this top that's going to come into here. So we're going to slide this one back into place carefully. Your ribbon might be different depending on the PlayStation model you have controller. Carefully. All right, we slid that in place correctly. Usually they'll have these markings that let you know if they're in spot correctly. So you're going to carefully get this one into this one. So I'll let you know that it's almost there with the first black mark. Then we're going to slide it into place. All right, it's in. Then carefully, we're going to connect this into place. All right, I got it in place. And same thing with this one. We're going to slide it into place. All right, it is lined into place. Okay, we're going to slide this back into place. Got the cover back in place, and we're going to put the screw back. Similar to the one below, so you're going to slide it in first, and then it slides into place. And then at the end, we're going to install it back into this slot here. All right, we got it back into place. Now the battery, so we're going to put this in first. Now the battery's in place again. Carefully put the cover back on. Just checking, see if everything's aligned for the screws here. On the bottom, the buttons that I was having issue with is bouncing again. Okay, everything seems to be good. Let's screw it into place. All right, got that one in. So got them both in. Now the bottom two. I got the third one in. Nice and tight. Fourth one going in. All right, almost done. All right, that's good. Now we got to put the buttons back. This one says R1, so we're going to put it back into the R1 spot. Carefully. All right, it's back into spot. Now we're going to find the L1, the one that flew somewhere behind me. It flicked off somewhere. Got to find it. Ah, found it. Okay. L1, make sure it's the right side. Carefully slide into place. Pop it back in. It's all good. You know, I really did think that was going to be gone forever. You know how it is. You drop something on the floor, it's just gone forever. Alright, we're going to carefully slide these black parts under and through. See, it's going under. Going under and through here, the analog sticks. And carefully align it with the PlayStation logo. Click it down so that it locks into place. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. We gotta reopen this. Reopen. Something went wrong. See, this is not supposed to be there. Pry bar. Gotta pry it open. Always something. Always something. This is not good. I think I slid it into, when I was sliding it into place, it skipped up the pad. Oh no, don't tell me I have to buy a new controller. I wasn't paying attention. It looks like it was good. Here we go. Gotta go in reverse again. Took it apart, put it back together again. There was some damage to that little plastic, I forgot what they called it. But anyway, that plastic that the buttons react to the magnets to give it the inputs. I did my best to flatten it out and put it back into place. So everything is good, but I did run into one issue. There was some damage, I think, to this controller. To this spot, there was a rip in the ribbon while trying to take it apart. So that was a casualty. Hopefully, I don't even use this, but hopefully this not being connected won't affect the overall usage of everything. But I think everything is back together. Now it's the moment of truth. See if it's fixed. Okay, return the power back on. We're gonna switch over to the PS5 view. Of course, we're gonna do a jump cut. Everything seems to be working. I'm pressing the start button. It's activating. I pressed the other buttons really hard. It's not activating the start button, but everything seems to be working. Let's try the PlayStation button. Alright, that works. So even though there is damage to the port here for the audio, I don't even use the headphones anyway. So for now, I don't have to buy a new controller. Everything seems to be working. But it's hard to tell because I can't activate every button here. Not every button used. Now let's try the menu. Map works. So far the R1s work. Left, right. Right trigger, left trigger. Square, circle, triangle. And that was the repair for my PlayStation 5. It didn't go as smoothly as I'd hoped, but considering it was my first time and that I only looked at the instructions for just a few minutes, why did I do that? Why am I so rough and tough with my items and don't take care of them? But that's just who I am, and that's how I will learn. Making those expensive mistakes.